Sister Wives, what fans really thought of Uncle Tim's eulogy. Sister Wives Season 19 just featured one of the most emotional episodes of the season. The family has been mourning the tragic passing of Garrison. The latest episode showed the family sending Garrison's ashes to his final resting place in Wyoming. But what caught the attention of many was the speech of Garrison's uncle, Tim. Keep reading to see what happened. Sister Wives, the Brown family reunites. The first few scenes of the latest episode featured Janelle's reunion with her kids. She was so happy to see everyone gathering, but it was also a bittersweet moment as they reunited to bury Garrison's ashes. Janelle and Christine's children also hung out for a while and did some fishing. Moments later, Kody began to dig his son's grave along with his family. During his interview, Kody revealed that he wants to honor his son as much as he can. But this left many Sister Wives fans upset, telling Kody that he should have honored his son while he was still alive. What fans really think of Uncle Tim's eulogy? Some Sister Wives fans on social media discussed the speech of Kody's brother-in-law, Uncle Tim, during Garrison's burial. According to the poster, they noticed that Tim's first sentences came from the movie, The Princess Bride. He even threw a priest's lisp, and it made them think that Garrison may be a huge fan of the film. The OP also commended Uncle Tim's Hawaiian, which is known for being one of Garrison's favorite clothing choices. It was his way to remember Garrison's positive personality, even with all the seriousness happening around him. He also mentioned a mother's grief and a father's regret. I thought this was a little bit of a good call out of Kody. The rest of his speech also kind of called out Kody by talking about how you should be a person that shows up for people so that someday they will gather for you. It was truthful, not really pointed, but definitely fit the story, and Tim brought the spirit of Garrison through all of it. I felt that he filled the role admirably, including putting his 2 cents in, gently on lessons that can be taken from this. I immediately knew what it was and thought that was on brand for Garrison lol. Yeah, Gen Xers/elder millennials are very familiar with the Ma wife speech from The Princess Bride. I think it was a brilliant intro by Uncle Tim to break the tension, as well as to quote a movie that was likely a favorite of the siblings. Oh God, that was a perfect tribute. So incredibly sad. Sister Wives. Robyn Brown honors Garrison. The burial ceremony was filled with emotions. A lot of family members can be heard crying in the background as they send their final messages to Garrison. But Robyn made everyone smile with his tribute. The Sister Wives star exchanged his military tags with Garrison. But what surprised the family was when he poured a drink for his brother one last time. During his interview, Robyn revealed that Garrison played a major role in his life, especially with the fact that they both served in the military. What viewers really thought about Uncle Tim's farewell speech. In the emotional whirlwind that is Sister Wives, moments of heartbreak, unity, and family struggle unfold in front of a national audience. But every now and then, a scene stands out, not for the drama, but for the raw humanity it reveals. Uncle Tim's farewell speech during a recent episode was one of those moments. It wasn't flashy, confrontational, nor edited for shock value. It was quiet, it was deeply personal, and it left fans across the country with a flood of emotions and opinions. A farewell in a fractured family. The Brown family has never shied away from showing the tough stuff. Over the years, viewers have watched the complex dynamics of Kody Brown and his 4 wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn, unfold in all their glory and their dysfunction. In more recent seasons, we've seen the family struggle with deep divides, emotional estrangement, and the crumbling of key relationships. So when the family gathered to say goodbye to a beloved relative, Uncle Tim, fans expected a rare moment of unity. And in some ways, that's what they got. But the eulogy that followed, delivered by Uncle Tim himself via a pre-recorded video, was something no one could have predicted. A voice from beyond. As the family sat solemnly in the living room, eyes fixed on a screen, Uncle Tim's recorded farewell began to play. The moment was already heavy with grief, but his words brought a different kind of weight, reflection, honesty, and an almost prophetic insight into the state of the family. "I don't know what the future holds for all of you," he said, his voice raspy but clear, "but I hope you'll remember who you were before the world saw you. Before cameras, before anger, before the divide." It was in many ways a mirror held up to the Brown family and to the audience. Fans react, emotional, divided, and vocal. Within minutes of the episode airing, social media lit up with reactions to Uncle Tim's speech. Some fans were moved to tears. Others felt a sting of awkwardness. Still more believed it was a message aimed directly at the fractured core of the Brown household. A needed wake-up call. Many viewers applauded the eulogy for its emotional clarity and timing. "Uncle Tim said what we were all thinking," one Reddit user wrote. It felt like he was addressing not just the family, but the audience who has watched this once beautiful dynamic fall apart. Twitter lit up with similar sentiments. "Give Uncle Tim an Emmy for speaking the truth from the afterlife," one post read. "That man knew this family needed a reality check more than another season." For these fans, the eulogy was a grounding moment. Stripped of the show's usual tension, it offered a heartfelt reminder of what mattered most: love, forgiveness, and unity. Felt scripted or too convenient. Not all viewers were convinced. A vocal group of skeptics felt the scene was overly orchestrated, raising doubts about its authenticity. Are we really supposed to believe he sat down and recorded this without any input from producers? One viewer asked in a Facebook discussion group. It just felt too perfect. Like a storyline gift-wrapped for emotional impact. Others argued that while the message was moving, it lacked real-life consequence. Beautiful words, but they'll be forgotten by the next episode when the drama starts back up again, another comment read. A subtle nod to Christine and Janelle. Another layer of interpretation came from fans who believed the eulogy was a subtle nod, or rebuke, of the current state of family disunity. In particular, many saw it as a veiled reference to Christine and Janelle's growing estrangement from Kody. He wasn't just talking about unity, one fan wrote on Instagram. He was saying, "Hey Kody, remember who you were before you stopped showing up for your family." Others pointed out that the camera cut to Christine and Janelle during some of the speech's more poignant lines, as if to underscore the distance that now existed between them and the rest of the family. Whether intentional or coincidental, it didn't go unnoticed. Kody's reaction, telling or tense. Perhaps the most scrutinized part of the moment wasn't the speech itself, but how the family reacted to it. While Robyn appeared visibly moved, wiping away tears, and Meri sat quietly with her hands clasped, Kody's response drew the most attention. Viewers noted that he seemed uncomfortable, shifting in his seat, offering only a terse nod at the conclusion of the eulogy. Kody looked like he was being personally called out, one fan tweeted. Like Uncle Tim's ghost was dragging him on national the speech TV. As a heartfelt goodbye or a passive critique is unclear, but the audience certainly had opinions. The power of words left behind. Part of what made Uncle Tim's speech so powerful wasn't just what he said. It was the way he said it. Calm, measured, unapologetic. There was no bitterness, no scolding. Just a deep sense of yearning for a family he had loved, and perhaps seen unravel in real time. The idea of someone choosing their final words so carefully, knowing they'd be broadcast to a grieving, fractured audience, struck a nerve. For many viewers, it served as a reminder of how far the Browns had drifted from their early values. The tight-knit, loving family that once gathered for group dinners and big family trips had become a patchwork of solo interviews, resentful glances, and stony silence. And yet, through Uncle Tim's words, some fans felt hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, his message would plant a seed. Will it make a difference? The big question fans are now asking is this: will a eulogy actually change anything? History suggests otherwise. Sister Wives is a show built on long-simmering conflict, and despite moments of clarity, the emotional distance within the family has only grown. Christine has already left. Janelle is emotionally checked out. Meri remains on the margins. And Robyn, often labeled the favorite, appears isolated in her own way. Still, Uncle Tim's words linger. Not just with the Browns, but with the viewers. I watched that scene with my mom, one TikTok user shared. And she cried. Not just because of Uncle Tim, but because it reminded her of her own family and how fast things fall apart when no one says what needs to be said. In that sense, the eulogy transcended television. It became a mirror reflecting the quiet regrets we all carry and the healing we hope for. Final thoughts. In a show that has become synonymous with heartbreak and unraveling relationships, Uncle Tim's farewell speech was a rare moment of emotional clarity. It reminded us all, fans and family alike, that the most powerful words are often the ones spoken when we no longer have time to fix what's broken. And while reality television often thrives on conflict, it's the quieter moments, grief, honesty, love, that truly stay with us. As one viewer put it best, Uncle Tim may be gone, but his voice was the most human thing this show has given us in years.